Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Tuesday, July 7th, 2008. Well, we are seeing actually a pretty solid buy program hitting the markets right now, folks, across the board. And you can see the market actually just off of the lows, double bottom, so from yesterday. And that's the key thing, guys. You got to recognize these technical indicators. All right, if there was going to be one spot you were going to be a buyer today, it was at that double bottom from yesterday. Look at how well this has worked. Just this one example. These are all calls that go out in the chat room for levels to watch. We obviously talk about them in the nightly videos. You have to understand them, folks. And sure enough, look at this move today. Beautiful double bottom move off of the 88.65, 88.70 level on the intraday SPY 10-minute chart here. And sure enough, look at the buy program that's emerged, folks. A monstrous push-up led by really JP Morgan. JP Morgan has been a key one. Also, oil has started to bounce. Oil was up earlier pre-market and then ultimately reversed and went down about $1.30, $1.40 on the day. It's now only down about 95 cents, and I'll show you the USO. Take a look at the USO, upticking right there beautifully, all right? Right with that, what do we know? ExxonMobil starting to get a little bit of an uptick here. Sure enough, Goldman Sachs, look at this, nice little uptick on Goldman. JP Morgan, though, has been the big one today. Look at this JP Morgan chart. Never really barely negative on the day, and right now trading up, soaring here. Look at these last couple candles on the buy programs hitting JP Morgan right now. JP Morgan along with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is still considered the king, but JP Morgan would be the prince or the jack, if you will, of the overall markets. I mean, that's just how strong JP Morgan is. It's a close second to Goldman Sachs when it comes to financials, and you can see by the move today that it's really helping the market get off the lows. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's driving this market today. First of all, extremely light volume. You guys know by now, I've preached this yesterday, I preach it again today. When you have light volume in the markets, you're going to see a positive bias, or at least the possibility of a higher float happen. That's exactly happening right now, folks. It's a little after 12, it's actually a little after 1 p.m. Eastern time, and the volume is absolutely dead. You're seeing a slight little bit of a float higher, as you can see on JP Morgan here. I'll show you the SPY. SPY, again, beautiful double bottom, really trended down. Look at how tight of a band that is. You can draw a little line right up here from the highs right there, and you can even draw one underneath here pretty well, and you can see how this overall market basically was trending down like this. Then we broke out above this, and that's given it a nice push. Went basically piercing the 20 up to the 50 moving average, and you have a green trend line of resistance right up here at about 89.30, 89.25. That's a good level right here, 89.30 to 89.25. It coincides really with the 50 moving average right now, and that's what you can see. So that's running into resistance right there, folks. You can see how the market lifted right off. You got a nice little surge here. We actually had a bond auction go off. It came in average. It was okay. It was a very short-term maturity, so you expected it to be pretty good. I would say it basically came in line, and that's really where we're sitting right now. A couple other things to note, guys. First of all, your levels. Let me erase these lines so they don't confuse you guys, for those of you that are looking for the afternoon trades. And really, again, what you're talking about is you're looking at this bottom level at 89.85 to 89.50 as being a major level. This line right down here is everything, guys. This is a huge, huge level. We'll call it even exactly 88.70, 88.65, right in that area. Now, what you're watching for here is, do we get below and confirm? Remember, you have to confirm the move down at this point, because in the light volume environment, you always have a slightly upside bias. So until you confirm, you can't be too sure on any type of move out there. Sure enough, off that double bottom, though, look at that double bottom, folks, and this is why you have to come to join the research center to really get a full-fledged action side of this. Now, if you move up and continue to move up, as I mentioned, you're going to run into resistance 89.25 to 89.30. That's basically where we came up right into here, just below it. If that gets broken, you're going to see a move up possibly to this morning's highs. All right, this morning's highs coincide with gap fill for 2 days ago. Right here, you can see the gap right in here, gap fill. You have to understand these levels again, folks. So that would be about 89.75 to 89.80 or so, right in that level. Just a side note and little announcement as well, folks. This weekend on Saturday, we have our webinar series Methodology, where we go into cycle calculations, a lot of the stuff that really is our secrets that we hold tight to the chest. So if you want to really get in on that, I strongly encourage you to sign up. You're going to have a lot of key information. You'll be able to utilize it literally starting Monday after Saturday in your trading, in your investing, in your swing trading. It's geared for all audiences. Young, old, swing traders, long-term investors, day traders, it all applies. Remember, I stress that on any chart, everything I talk about applies to any chart. It could be the monthly chart or the intraday 10-minute or the 1-minute. It always applies. Patterns apply. price, action, time, and obviously cycle analysis, stuff like that, understanding things like that, okay? So you want to go sign up for that at inthemoneystocks.com under Education Seminars and Webinars link. You can find it very clearly on our website. Okay, next up, guys, you can see again, if we get through that, as I mentioned, that 89.75 to 89.980 level would be key resistance. If you climb through that, you're going to have a major resistance at 90.15. 90.15 is going to be a very, very significant resistance level to watch on the upside. On the downside, again, guys, all I can do is stress this level right here. 88.65 to 88.70. That's the big level, folks. It's actually a monstrous level on the intraday here. If we were to break that, you'd have to be really on edge for a possible flush out. But right now, the markets look like the light volume is really lifting it up right now and carrying us higher. This is, again, led by JP Morgan. JP Morgan continues to climb. Your target on JP Morgan would be right here. 200 moving average on JP Morgan at 33.30 to 33.40. Right in that range is going to be significant resistance on JPM. Goldman Sachs continues to really get a nice bid off the lows. Look at this dump on Goldman and then sideways up consolidation. The interesting thing about this Goldman pattern, you could actually claim it to be somewhat slightly bearish on the formation off of this down move, but to be honest, it's the king, and you never short the king, guys. You got to be wary of it unless you're really sure of a down move. You got to be very, very cautious on shorting this, and also I don't like the short because you have the 20 and the 50 now below it as well, including this underlying trend line. So you got to be very, very cautious on this. Yes, it could be a pattern involved here, but you have to be extremely cautious as the market has gotten a very, very firm bid off the lows. The Dow was just down about 110 points. It's only down about 75 right now off of this move. And Goldman Sachs only down $1.50 after being down about $2.53 on the day. So that has come off very nicely. ExxonMobil, look at Exxon slowly getting a bid. We touched on this earlier as oil was getting a move off the lows. Here's oil continuing to inch up. Now, oil's still down on the day, but again, it's all about trimming the losses, and you can see the reversal on the markets overall, folks, really coming off very, very strong off this bottom in the markets, basically around the midday session. Bottoms put in. There's no volume in this market right now. That generally has a minor upside bias, if ever so slight upside bias whenever you have light volume. Alright, folks, last announcement. As I always say, we'd love to have you join the Research Center, which has about 5 different services all included in one. Anything from Pro Trader Watch List, where we give directions on various stocks and ETFs. The hot charts and alerts, which have been on fire lately, absolutely fire. Had a great call on there on oil on the USO for a low of 34. Sure enough, that was when the USO was trading at 37.39. Just hit 34 today. That's the target achieved on that one. Great stuff on that hot charts and alerts continue to be. Also, you have the nightly market reports, 30-minute videos on technicals every night, daily market reports, you name it, hidden gems, technical tactic, all included in there, folks. Value is unprecedented, in my opinion, unprecedented. All right, folks, enough said today. Hope you enjoy. Hope you have a good, solid rest of the week, and we'll keep you updated tomorrow on the intraday videos. Come join if you want the nightly hardcore videos. That's what we give out in the evenings. Take care.